Hi there, students. Okay, this is an article at level C2. That's Cambridge Proficiency. It's for a magazine. So here we go. Here's the question. An international magazine has asked readers to send in articles on the topic of independence. You decide to write an article in which you describe your first job. You should explain what you learnt from the experience and say how it helped you to develop as a person. Write your article in 280 to 320 words. So, essay, my first job. I had my first job when I was about to turn 24 years old. As in most cases, it was really an eye-opener. I worked as a secondary school teacher in a town in Castilla y León, where I had to live. Therefore, I had to rent a room in a flat with other 3 teachers. 2 of them worked in the same school as I did. So, when I had my first job, I think it sounds better I got my first job, because have, this is the state, whereas getting is when it happened and you're about to turn 24. Got is going to be a better word to use. I like your use of turn here. Yeah, it's a very nice piece of English. As in most cases, it was really an eye-opener. Okay, I would prefer the really here. Your position of really is not wrong, but it sounds better. It really was an eye-opener. I worked as a secondary school teacher in a town in Castilla y León where I had to live. Therefore, I had to rent a room in a flat with another 3 teachers, but it would be better with 3 other teachers. 2 of them worked in the same school as I did. Oh, this is something else that is probably better for something like an article. To turn 24 years old with 3 other teachers. Okay, I need a hyphen there as well. Okay. With other 3 teachers, no. With 3 other teachers. This one you need to get right. The most remarkable characteristic of this school was that young people who worked for the first time were hired because the government boosted young people first employment by paying a bonus to their employees. Okay, so the most remarkable characteristic of this school was that I would say the specific young people who worked for the first time, the young people who were, so let's make this neater, who were first-time teachers were hired because the government boosted, had been boosting. So boosting. So I think promote would be the word I would use, because the government was promoting first jobs for young people by paying a bonus to their employees. Only 4 or 5 teachers in the school had working experience. Wow. For most of us, it was our first job. And first or second working year. Okay, so I was promoting first jobs. Okay, I'm going to leave it. I know it's first jobs and first jobs. Yeah, because I would use this phrase first job very definitely. And first or second year, second working year. For obvious reasons, it had serious consequences. On the one hand, the positive side of it was that a group of young people, more or less the same age, so on the one hand, the positive side of it was that a group of young people, more or less the same age, a group of young people, more or less the same age, willing to have fun and earning money for the first time, were together. You just need that comma there. I like this structure. Yeah, a group of young people, one characteristic, two characteristics. One characteristic, two characteristics, three characteristics for the first time were together. I like the way that's structured. On the other side, good, on the one hand, on the other side, I like it. Students took advantage of this. And the school was one of the worst places I have ever worked in. But contradictorily enough, where I made close friends with my colleagues and had a great time with them. Yeah, okay, I like this as well. This is good. So on the other side, the students took advantage of this, and the school was one of the worst places I ever worked in. But contradictorily enough, I like this, contradictorily enough, where I made close friends with my colleagues and had a great time with them. In any case, it was a really valuable both working and personal experience. I'm not happy with the both. So I would say, okay, it was a really very valuable experience. Both really valuable experience. Both, so I need to change this now, both work-wise, about work, and personally. I had done my training course after university. However, not until you are in charge of a class do you develop your skills to manage a classroom and students. Okay, I'd done my training course after university. You could use no, not a comma, that's a comma splice, a semicolon. Not a colon, a semicolon. Notwithstanding, you can use however. You can use however, notwithstanding. Not until you are in charge of a class do you develop your skills to manage a classroom and students. This is very nice. You've got an inversion there, which is well done. It is also similar with other life aspects. I like your noun collocation, that's good. You learn budgeting skills when you have to make the most of a meager salary to pay for... Okay. To pay, I would say, for a room. A meager salary to rent. You have to make the most of a meager salary to rent a room and then pay for food, leisure time, activities, and so on and so forth. And saving a little bit at the same time. And to save. And I'm going to put this and trying to save a little bit at the same time. In my experience, I would say that at some moments, I would say that at some moments it was really hard. But, in my opinion, it was a tough lesson we all had to learn sooner or later. We all have to learn, that's the right tense, sooner or later, when we become adults and start living on our own. Okay, I would say that at some moments it was really hard. This beginning a sentence with but. You can begin a sentence with but. It works, I guess. But in my opinion, it was a tough lesson we all have to learn sooner or later when we become adults and start living on our own. Okay, so notice 3, 4, 6 words. You've gone over the 320, but not by very much. You've gone a sentence over. I don't think I'd penalise that for you. So let's see. Answering the question. Yes, you answered the question. What you learned from the experience and how it helped you develop as a person. I think 1.75 out of 2. Very definitely. The formality. It's fairly informal. I think I'd probably give this a 6 in formality. I think your language is very appropriate for this. Yeah, you're not trying to use anything very snazzy or very complicated, but your use of vocabulary is fine. Yeah, you're using it very well. I think probably 1.5 out of 2 for vocabulary used. Range of structures. Yeah, the range of structures are good. I particularly liked, where was it? This one. Yes, this one. On the one hand, positive side was a group of young people more or less the same age, willing to have fun and earning money. Be careful with the comma. Were together. I think I quite like that. You also nailed an inversion as well. Yeah, not until plus the inversion, which is quite nice. Range of grammar. 1.5. Okay, let's see. Accuracy. There are 1 or 2 little bits with accuracy and mistakes. For example, with 3 other teachers. And this bit was a little bit confusing as well. This and the, yeah, and this together as well. I think I'm probably going to give you 1.25 for accuracy. So how well does it hold together? Yeah, you You've used lots of linkers very nicely for obvious reasons. Yeah, you used a however with here. I just added a flash, notwithstanding, but it links together and it reads quite nicely. 1.5. And the ideas flow one to the other quite well. So cohesion and cohesiveness, it fits together very well. I didn't have any real problems reading it. I'd say 1.5 out of 2. And I think that's probably it. I think probably overall I'm going to give it a 7 at level C2. 6.75, 7. I think it's worth a 7 because it reads very nicely. It's quite simply written, but it's very readable as well. I think it works. So thank you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.